Hi guys, Nirami here. So as you know, I usually make animations and silly shorts for YouTube, but I kind of wanted to expand my interest and do something else after a while. And I don't have many interesting stories, but one that I always wanted to share. And well, let's talk about my stalker of 2 years. Or three? I don't remember. So a few years ago, when I was 19, I used to go to high school, right? And I myself, I was very quiet and shy and I had no confidence at all. And the school wasn't for me because I chose the wrong major basically because of my friends. But that's a story for another time. We had a lot of people in school, like a lot, and I don't recognize any of them. So one of them asked me one day if he could give my number to one of his friends, and I don't know, I just said yes. I was naive and stupid, so don't judge me. The same day the friend, let's call him Josh, not his real name, he messaged me and showed me a lot of interest, and I instantly told him that I'm not interested in relationships and I would like to be friends. He instantly asked why and tried to change my mind, and I still said no. He kept messaging me big texts every day and even came to the point wanting to give me gifts, which I politely declined. He got very angry and would say things like, "Oh, you want to hurt me by declining my gifts?" First red flag. But no, I was too nice and kept talking to him because I felt bad for ignoring him. After a while, declining him for meetings, gifts and stuff, it just got weirder. One day I found a package with a Levi's, I don't know how to spell it, you know what I mean, Levi's t-shirt in my post. None of my family ordered anything and there was no name on it, literally. And guess what? He wore the same t-shirt the next day at school. It gave me alarming feeling since I never told him where I live, so I have no idea how he found out. I just gave that away to someone else because there's no way I'm keeping it. I was brave enough to approach him for the first time and ask him personally if it was him. He denied it, of course. After he tried numerous times to be the cliché hero who would save me from mean guys, examples, he literally staged scenarios. Like, once I was going to my train stop and suddenly saw him behind a wall. Mind you, he never uses the same train stop as me. I ignored it and went upstairs to the stop. When I was going up, some guy started going down the stairs and Josh was suddenly behind me. The guy stumbled against me and Josh was like, "Hey, that was rude. Why don't you watch out?" Now, I was very naive and dumb back then, but I instantly knew what was happening, so I just ignored it like nothing happened at all. There was also a time where some kid tried to rob me in front of my house, but my panic hit and I started making jokes like, "Do you really think it's gonna work? Hahaha, that's a stupid plan to be honest. Well, what the To the point he just walked away. I'm not sure, but I think it was another try that didn't go as planned. I was so frustrated to the point I asked a good friend of mine if he could pretend like he was my boyfriend. I thought it was the end of it, but no. Josh started threatening my friend and asked everyone where he lives so he can beat him up. After that, I literally went hysterical because I felt bad for my friend. I was the reason why he was in trouble. And I thought about calling the police, but to be honest, since he's a refugee and I was scared that it would end very bad for him, so I never did. Because I heard sometimes that refugees can be kicked out because of different claims, so I just didn't want to take the risk. I decided to meet him to talk. My friends were there just for support, but when I took him to the side to talk, the only thing he said was like, "He took you away from me, and I love you a lot," and other crazy stuff you cannot imagine. I just told him to stop with the whole bull. What response did I get? I can't promise you this until I stop loving you. After a month or so, while I was visiting my sister, a number called which I didn't know, and I answered. It was his friend who tried to gaslight me into dating him. You don't know him yet. He's so nice to you and you don't appreciate it at all. Why don't you give him a chance? Well, my sister's husband heard that and decided to talk to him on the phone in another room. Since that, I haven't heard of Josh and had my peace. The end? Hell no, God. After a year or two, when I started working on my current job, which is food delivery, I get a call from my classmate that gave Josh my number. Josh wanted to ask if you could give him your number. I was flabbergasted, shook. I was shook to my core, I tell you. No. Oh, okay. I get my things and drive back to the restaurant. Well, he calls me again. Yeah, he doesn't believe me. Can you tell him yourself? To this point, I was actually shaking and acting panicked, which my boss saw. My boss asked me for my phone and talked to them that they should not bother me. Josh, however, got furious because how dare another man speak through my phone. He would ask questions like, why does it bother my boss who he is? My boss asked him why he can't leave me alone and that I'm literally scared of him. Josh said he was desperate to talk to me. We came to the conclusion that for Josh to leave me alone, he can talk to me, but only if he comes to the restaurant where other people are present. Well, guess what? He didn't come that day, which was Saturday, because allegedly his niece broke her arm and he had to drive to another city. The next day, which was Sunday, I worked as usual and was driving back and forth doing my perfect job as a delivery driver. But something caught my and my boss's attention. He didn't tell me he knew back then. There was a car parked a bit further away from the restaurant. It was literally standing there for like 2 hours, which my boss thought was a bit suspicious. And I, however, brushed it off as I was naive and thought it was some random people as usual, you know. Well, my shift ends at 11 p.m. We had some difficult car situation because of which my friend and I and my boss drove home to my home in different cars, which was supposed to be left at my place. And we go in our cars and I drive off. And wouldn't you know it, that suspicious car literally followed me home. How do I know? Because after I parked my car, I went to help my coworker to park in a tiny space. And while I'm standing there, I suddenly see someone standing next to me. And all I hear is, "Hi V." When I tell you that I literally almost died at that point, because Josh was standing right next to me at that point in a pitch black dark night. I ran to my boss's car and told him that Josh was there. My boss told me that he saw the car before and had his suspicions that it was Josh. My boss called Josh over and they went for a little drive to talk. Josh would tell him that I actually love him and that my friends are not allowing me to date him and that he loves me, how we were meant to be together, and that my boss had to explain to him that I'm literally scared to death of him and that following me home late at night just to force me to talk to him did not make it better. They agreed for Josh to come to a restaurant the next day so that I could tell him for the one last time that I don't want to see him ever again. After that, my boss told him to leave me alone for the last time and that was it. I did see Josh a few times near the restaurant after that, but it's been like 3 years now and no one has bothered me at all. To be fair, I do feel like I'm being watched even if I'm all alone, and it messes with my head a little bit because my privacy is very, very dear to me. and I know that it is for a lot of people. So minding my business and just to feel like someone, or know that someone just watched over me, whether it was him or his friends, it's just, yeah. I still to this day get sometimes a feeling that I'm being watched, so I cannot really enjoy my privacy a lot. So yeah, that's the story. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. It's my first time storytelling, but I kind of wanted to let the story off my heart because it kind of messes with me to this day, and yeah, it's kind of, I guess, good to talk about it, just to let it out for the final time. I love you very much. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all, guys. I really do. And tell me what you want to see next. Maybe I'm gonna do more, maybe not, but let's see. Bye!